Okay, let's start. Okay, team. Today we're gonna practice setting up multi-vendor site-side VPN. So we have a one site Cisco ASA, and the other site B, we have FortiGate. Um, so we're configuring both sites. Hopefully, each site we're gonna break different. It's like two parts videos for each one, and then we'll start building the IPsec VPN. The topology should look like this, where we have a one site, site A, and then site B, and there's only have each one has a one client box FTP. Site B, the other one is central client machine. Um, so we'll start doing the site A on Cisco ASA. Configure the management link, the WAN link, and then the LAN. Let's get started. Okay, so start with the ASA. We're using Cisco CRT terminal. Okay, so let give you heads up. This is basically a lab, practice lab, nothing to do with production. But in terms of the images, we're using the ASA. Sometimes you might get some bugs. Just be aware of that one. If you the version that I'm using right now is 9.15. Alright, so we'll log in, create a new password. Alright, so before we go to config terminal and configure anything, we want to make sure that the box is clear and nothing, any IP address assigned to. I just want to show you that. So it's a how we verify it's a show IP interface brief that tells you how many linked to what we have right now. They're all down and unassigned to any IP address. And we'll start building the management, and then we go ahead and do the WAN and then the LAN. To do that, we'll go to you see that error message warning as a platform license status unlicensed, just to let you know. Okay, so we get this kind of message like anonymous report, the report to help the improvement product. This will say no for now, and we'll go to management interface 0x0. So this is a secure box, so that the configuration are different than somebody using the router in terms of firewall. There is a differences between the, the configuration syntax and then the script that we're using when you're running the link. Something called just like So beginning before firewall ASA, we used to do on a router zone-based security. That's how we use ACL and all kind. So similar to this right now, we're not going to say zone-based. We use name if. This is how you do the ASA firewall. The name if you define the name. What's the standard stand for the management? So this is going to be management. Name if management. By default, security goes to zero secure. What that means is by this is not secure. So we'll create this and we change this to secure, but we'll say 90 since it's management. Okay, so reiterate in interface management 0 by 0. We we give a name and that's stand for just like a zone based name. So this is management. The security level is 90 right now. It's not 100%, but it's just 90. If it's 0, it's not secure. We'll we give IP address. So my management link connects to my local LAN. So we have a DHCP server, so we'll get that dynamic IP address. So we'll say IP address DHCP set it out and no shut. Sorry, no shut. Let's verify. Show interface IP. Just guys, remember that show IP, you can't say it. It's not gonna take anything IP. It just says interface IP. There you are. We're getting so we're getting 30.0.0.0.28. We can verify that. So now when we have a management, what that means, we will accessing a GUI and through the web base. Then we need to turn the HTTP server. So this is how you suggest HTTP and enable. If you don't know HTTP question mark to turn this HTTP, this is how you turn on. It's going to enable the HTTP server required to run the device management manager. So if you want to run that ASDM, turn this one and say enable. Now question is who can access? You're accessing from the LAN, from the WAN, from management. So you have to define that. So that command will be HTTP and then you tell which subnet you're accessing from. And then you tell, you assign that to management, right? There you go. All right, so now if you say show name if, show name, and we have a one interface, the name is management, security is 90. We're done the management. We'll go down to the LAN and we'll configure LAN gigabit 0 by 1. Similar to this, we'll see just like a zone-based thing. We say name if. So this time we define it's inside this LAN, right? So inside, so we're going to say inside. You can pick any name you want, but we define this one inside. And by default, inside knows the ASA and it will give 100% secure. Always assign the IP statically. We have that IP 172.16.254. It is class B, and we'll tell them not shut. All right, show name if now. We have additional configuration gigabit 0 by 1. Cool. What we do is we'll go to WAN right now. Gigabit 0 by 0. Name if, well, we'll name it this one to outside. It knows and it will go 100% and it's 0 secure. There you are. So if you want to change the security, you can just security level 0 to 100, right? Assign the IP address 100.0.0.0.2 class 8. and terminal shut. So if we say show interface IP brief, just what that does is going to give you overview, and you verify the IP addresses, then the LAN, the WAN, and entirely the links, right? So all the links, which one is up, which one is down, protocol status. So it looks like everything working right now, right? So management, I can bring my gateway, LAN, which working fine. So what this is saying, that we can access management via GUI or HTTP to the web. So it's secure box. So the secure box is HTTPS and 20, I think 28, right? There you go. So we're just gonna give you to install, download the graphical interface of management manager secure blind, right? So this is called ASDM. It will allow you to, as a GUI, to access and modify, implement, change, all kind of stuff. I already downloaded. What I will do, I'll go ahead and try access right now. SDM. Okay, it's giving you error. Okay, so let me read this. There you go. Yeah, so we have, this is SDM. All right, now we need to access the use credentials. The credentials we did not create yet. So we didn't create it. So what we'll do is we create that in the config mode. Username, admin, or password, Cisco, and then privilege is 15. So we give higher privilege mode. And now I have admin credential to access the management. All right. Well, under device information, you will see the name of the device, the version, the SDM version, what route or firewall node. Mainly, you look this is routed mode, and you can see the device type, CPU, memory allocation, all stuff. The resource status, and the right side on top, information of the interfaces, which one is up, which one is down, the IP addresses, and all kind of stuff. You can also do traffic status outside interface, the package, incoming package, traffic, outgoing, and a connection per second. And if you look the firewall dashboard on here, if you look at that, this is the information that you're getting: traffic overview, ACL door packets, and all kinds of stuff. Really good monitoring panel, we'll say. And you can have a monitoring specific things that you want to do, the interfaces. You can look the DHCP, dynamic SCLs, graphic interfaces, PBBOE client. And if you look VPN, you can look if it's any VPN going on, botnet, routing, protocols, OSPF, what type, and all kind of stuff. And then properties. You can also see the locks. You can enable the locks and view all the locks, debug, and everything, right? And this is the configuration where you want to set it up, the VPN, or if you want to just set up right from scratch again. There's a startup wizard, zone-based, VXLAN, keychains, system time, NTVs, the device setup. So they also have a firewall setup where we can see right now the management, how it goes, the destination services, um, the global, which is the outside, and it's the deny. If you look right now, the actions denied, like incoming traffic, that goes in inside interface. Um, I have a not ruling, or AAA's filter rules, public servers if you have any URL filtering, threat detection, identity option. I mean, we're not gonna go all this. It's just gonna show you what's going on, right? I think TCP map, um, local users. We just create one a moment ago. We have so if you go out of the firewall, we go remote access VPN. We have a SSL, which we'll do later on other videos. Uh, Clientless, so basically it's using web-based SSL IPsec. It's using AnyConnect as well. There's like a Internet Key Exchange version 1, IPsec, Internet Key version 2. It's using the same thing, using Cisco any VPN. Um, and then last the last one that way. Normally, the one that we want to do with the site VPN. In this course, we're using Google base. So both. I just want to give you this overview that what we configuring uh, IPsec, we will do both sides, side one and side B. We're doing a web Google base version. So then later we're gonna come here and configure site, and we'll build the IPsec. And there's the option for wizard uh, in this section. Just remember that. Okay, and then lastly, but the device management. This is the device management, and you can see all. All right, looks good. Nothing changed. Close it out. So all right, so we build the management. Configure management. We'll configure. We did configure the WAN. Set up the link. A LAN. So lastly, we will configure the central box and give IP address statically, basically. All right, so we open that one. Okay, so this is CentOS, and this is based on Red Hat. It's not a Debian. What that does is like this is system D, and everything we do in like a Red Hat way, where we'll checking the network, and how we do is like we're using network management. We this one, everybody knows that Linux we have a config, or we're using IBA, which is IP address to look the network. But the proper way for the Red Hat is NMCLI is what you normally supposed to use. So if NMCLI connection, if you look, the if is down. So the way we configure this one is statically. We use the NMCLI. So two ways: the GUI way and the CLI. And normally use CLI. If somebody likes to go GUI way NMUTI, it's what you use, and you configure that way, right? Um, For me, I will use CLI, NMCLI connection. We're modifying, so we'll say mode, and then we'll select the ETH0. This is IPv4. The method will be manual, and IPv4 version is version 4. IP address is gonna be 192.168.16.0.200. Class 16. Let me make sure manual. spell that wrong. Alright, NMCLI connection. We'll set it up the gateway. This is how you do it in the connection mode. Select the link, port name, and then we'll say IPv4 gateway, and we'll 172.16.254. Alright, so now we set up the gateway. We'll turn on the link. NMCLI connection app is 0, and we should have an IP address. We'll verify and test. We'll just say receiving a big our gateway, and it's pingable. So you can see that the communication is happening right now. Looks good. All right, next video, what we do is we will set up FortiGate. Thanks everyone.